So I hear something to this effect all the time from really smart, really successful people. Jimmy, I'll invest in real estate once I know what I'm doing. And here's the truth. The people who wait until they know enough, they're never gonna start. They're just gonna stay stuck in analysis paralysis. Meanwhile, the people who take massive action with the right structure, they end up owning multiple properties within a single year. And here's the thing, you don't need to be an expert to start. You just need a proven system and a team that's already built the roadmap. So let's talk about how to go from zero experience to your first performing property in the next 90 days. Most high income earners, they're just perfectionists by training. Doctors, engineers, executive, you're wired to eliminate risk before you ever act. And that's great in your career, but that's poison for your investing portfolio. I was just with a software engineer from Seattle, a brilliant woman. She makes great money, and she's been studying the market for 3 years now. And each and every time she got close to buying, she'd find another course to take, another book to read, or another podcast to binge on. By the time you feel ready, the opportunity is already gone. So you've read the books, you've listened to the podcast, you maybe even have taken a course. But here's the thing, information, it's not execution. And real estate is not like the school system. It rewards movement, not memorization. And every month that you sit on the sidelines waiting to learn more, you're losing appreciation, you're losing tax advantages, you're losing cash flow that you could already be collecting. And here's the thing, knowledge does not build equity, ownership does. Now I get it, real estate, it feels complicated. There's the financing, the inspections, the contractors, the property management. It's a lot, but that's exactly why most people don't make it past deal number one. They think they can mess with it and figure it out piece by piece by watching a bunch of YouTube videos, scrolling through the Bigger Pockets blogs, and asking random Facebook groups for advice. And that software engineer that I mentioned, she spent months trying to analyze markets, understand cap rates, figure out all the financing options. And what happens when you try to do it all by yourself? You end up overpaying, you hire the wrong people, or you end up sitting with a vacant property that nobody wants to live in. That's constantly bleeding you of cash. And then boom, one bad experience and you're out. But here's the thing, it's not because real estate doesn't work. It's because you're a newbie and you try to do everything by yourself. And when you plug into a system that's already built, guess what? That learning curve completely disappears. And you get to start where most people hope to finish. That's why I created a detailed walkthrough that shows exactly how we help investors go from zero experience to owning a performing property all in under 90 days. I'll show you how we find the deals. I'll help you secure preferred financing. My team will manage the rehab. My team will find a resident, and then we will manage the property for the long term. You don't have to guess, you don't have to analyze, and you don't have to negotiate. We do it all. You just bring the capital and watch your first property come to life. And it's completely free to watch. You'll find a link right below this video. So if you've been stuck in the someday, this is your next step to actually owning something real. But let me first show you why most people get paralyzed by choice, because it's probably keeping you stuck right now. And let's be honest, this industry doesn't make it easy. Every guru's got a course, every influencer's got a theory, and every fund claims to have the new model. It's noisy and it's confusing. And that's exactly where that software engineer, that's where she got stuck. She collected advice from 20 different experts, and she ended up more confused than when she started. And here's the thing, the problem isn't lack of information. There's too much information out there from too many sources. And that's why my team system, that's why it exists. It's to cut through all the noise with a proven, done-for-you framework that has been built on thousands of transactions, not just theories. I'm not here to sell you a class or sell you a dream. Me and my team, we're here to hand you a property that performs. And now something really powerful happens when you own your first property. Your confidence flips. You stop thinking like an employee, you stop thinking like a newbie, and you start thinking like an investor. Because the first deal isn't just about cash flow, it's about clarity. You finally understand how the numbers work, how leverage multiplies returns, and how predictable this game actually is when it's structured right. So that software engineer, within 60 days of working with us, we had her under contract on her first rental. Fully renovated, tenant ready, managed from day one. You know what she told me? Jimmy, I can't believe I spent 3 years overthinking, overanalyzing for something that took your team 2 months to execute. That's why we guarantee a viable deal within 90 days. Because once you've seen it happen once, you'll never question if you can do it again. Momentum replaces hesitation. And here's the best part. You don't need to be a landlord. You don't have to be a flipper. You just need to be the owner of the portfolio. Me and my team will take care of everything else. We're gonna make sure you're in the right market. We're gonna handle all the negotiating. We're gonna help you line up the financing. And we are gonna manage the residence. And we're gonna manage all the maintenance, any repairs that needs to be done, all the phone calls. We're gonna do everything. And that same software engineer, she now owns 3 properties. And every single one was sourced and financed and fixed and managed through the same system. So she didn't change her career, she changed her approach. You stay focused at what you're great at and let your money start working for you. That's the exact definition of leverage. And that's how people with no experience build multi-million-dollar portfolios faster than the so-called experts who never act. So yes, with the right team and the right system, you can go from 0 to your first performing property in 90 days, without all the guesswork and without sleepless nights. But here's what happens next. Once that first deal is done, the challenge is to grow and the challenge is to scale. And how do you grow a portfolio that keeps compounding wealth automatically while you stay completely hands-off? That's exactly what I'm going to cover in this next video. How to build a real estate portfolio that grows itself without the tenants, toilets, or the headaches. So click right here to watch it now, because that's where the real acceleration begins. And if you're serious about building long-term wealth, you don't want to miss this next piece.